All right, everyone. So we had to do a video. All right, we did a bunch yesterday on the major E-Day news, and I have to say I didn't know what to expect. Right when we had the big direct, and it was like, are we going to actually get anything from it? Is it just going to be kind of, hey, here's a release date, and here's some stuff? It blew my mind. It was everything we wanted and more, and I think it really did in me throw hype into the stratosphere. Just gonna be honest with you. I am now in the belief that this game is going to go down as one of the better Gears we've ever played. Right? I think this is gonna be one of the best Gears of all time. I don't know if it could ever beat the nostalgia of like Gears 2 for me, but there's something about first off, and we talked about this in our reaction. I thought the people making the game that were all talking throughout the direct showcased a level of we care about the Gears of War series just as much as the average gamer, right? It wasn't a situation where it was like, well, we're going to try to transform this series because we actually like it better this way. No, it was we're taking the Gears series and we're going to bring back everything that you love, right? We're going to double down on what works for the series. And on top of that, we're going to bring it into 2026, right? We're going to upgrade the movement a little bit. And I know that's going to be a very controversial thing. And as we said in our video, it could be the thing that actually makes the game fail, right? Changing movement in that way where now you could jump up the way you can, and it's going to completely change how multiplayer is played. But I also think it needed to happen. It had to be done. Even like with Call of Duty, I know some people hate the movement, but you just like I said, you just need to make those changes, right? To bring Gears into I think 2026. It doesn't mean it's not going to be the same old Gears of War. It's just going to be played slightly differently. On top of that, I feel like they have a good grasp of, we brought this up in our video too. The things about those initial Gears of War games, right? That original trilogy, especially the first two, is if you remember back in the day, you'd watch the IGN reviews or whatever. One of the big things about Gears was how it was kind of a revolutionary game with the cover system, with the gore and all of this, right? That was one of the calling cards of Gears of War, and why even people who weren't crazy fans of the online modes, they were fans of the games and thought this is one of the best games out there, right? It was on the level of Call of Duty and Halo at their peaks, right? It wasn't at the level of Call of Duty where it is now or Halo where it is now. Peak Call of Duty, peak Halo. Gears of War was on that level. And I think they have a little bit more of that in this showcase where they showed us, yeah, the cover, the more destructible cover, the sliding animations, all of this stuff, the world destruction is taking on another level. And I think that is going to help bring this into the stratosphere. The only, I think, downside to the whole entire thing we saw, the only downside was that it's not going to be on the PlayStation 5. And I understand why. I'm not knocking Xbox for doing it. Let me be very clear. I'm not knocking Xbox for doing it because the truth of the matter is, and we said this in, I don't know if we said this on the Gears channel, but on our main gaming channel, it's very clear that as much as we feel that exclusives are bad for consumers and exclusives are, as for your average gamer, there's just, it's better without exclusives, right? I have my PC. I want to be able to play all the games on the PC, which you're going to be able to play Gears on the PC too. But there's no question that exclusive games sell consoles. And I was thinking about this when I was thinking about the next Xbox. And I'm looking at the Series X right now. I've bought every Xbox since the 360. I have an original Xbox too, but I didn't buy that in its time. I actually had a PlayStation, but I did buy the 360 over the PlayStation 3. And, one of the things that I realized is, man, I may not buy the next Xbox because what's the point in buying it? There is no point, right? If every game is on every console and the Xbox doesn't really offer much, why would I even buy it? And so from that perspective, I understand. And I guess we're just never going to find a game here. We might be just doing a video talking and not playing at all. But we got one. But the point I'm making is I understand how bad it is and how much we would rather not have it like that. But these consoles really do need it. Like, it's just the only way you're gonna sell them. I would not have been I may be buying whatever the new Xbox is whenever it comes out. There's not a chance I was buying it if it was without exclusives. And so, once again, I know that that frustrates people, and I get why, but I also understand it from the company's perspective. But let's get back to E-Day. Every so basically, when I'm listening to the developers and the people who made the game talk about it in a way of like, yeah, we love this series just as much as your average gamer does for Gears of War. It made me think there's no way this thing fails, right? Like, there's just, oh shit, we're getting killed here. We took it with us, but it just made me feel that way because that is like the necessity, and that's the problem with a lot of these AAA games now is the people making them don't always have a love for the series. It seemed like that for the developers of this. Now, of course, could it fail? Anything can happen, right? We get that, but if they have such love and attention and understand the series the way I think they do, oh, as we get killed by it, it's going to be tough. It's gonna be tough for me not to end up loving this thing, and I do think even as I played through Gears of War 5, you begin to realize just how good this game actually was from a standpoint of at its point right now, it's pretty darn good. This is pretty fun. Right now, I understand at release it was probably worse. I definitely could see because especially they made like there's way more microtransactions in this of things you could buy, weapon skins and stuff than in any Gears game I had played previous. And I get that, but at least what we got right now is very freaking good. It's very freaking fun, and it it feels like it has a lot here that's even more than the Gears of War 2, the Gears of War 1, the Gears of War 3. Now, you need to have the fun aspect and the addictive quality that those games had, and so that's obviously a big deal to go along with it. But I think they will. I think they will, and I think they're going to finally thread that needle of fun game, but with an expansive amount of content further than any Gears game. As I get killed again, that we've ever seen. That's what I think we're getting from this. So I'm hoping. Even, there's because I really think that this game it tried to do it tried to take the Gears series and say, okay, we're gonna kind of flush this out and make it more modern. Right. Because if you go back to Gears 1 and Gears 2, or even go play Gears Reloaded, you could see the lack of content that is now there. Right now, it didn't matter for like Gears of War 2 because the game was so good. But in Reloaded, it's like, why did Reloaded not have the staying power for even a year? Well, because once you play it, you're like, okay, there's not much content being added here. All there is unlocking characters. It's like, it's not the same. And that's only gonna be for the hardcore Gears of War fan. Whereas I do think with E-Day, it's gonna be the best of both worlds. I think you're gonna get both. Oh, we didn't get them in time. So that's my hope, right? That's what I got from it. But at least and I try not to get myself too hyped because it feels like anytime you get overhyped about a game, it never ends up living up to it. I just don't see a way unless the quality of the game stinks or the servers stink or something like that. I just don't see how that game ends up, not being very good. And I think there's a chance that this thing takes over the gaming world. I mean, even yesterday, you had people from I saw it all over YouTube. People talking about how good the Xbox reveal is and how good Gears of War E-Day. Dude, I don't I gotta work on my movement in this game and see if it's me or if it's the old style. But why did I not jump over? Jump over. That's what I wanted to do. But yeah, I mean, I saw everybody talking about it and praising it, and that's what we need. We need that back. I don't want to talk about that. We're going 2-7, probably because I'm talking nonstop. But yeah, I mean, look, we need that again. That's how it used to be, right? Gears of War used to be like that was the hot discussion, and now it's like, does Gears of War even exist to a lot of people? Like, think about this. My guess is there was never a time before the release of Gears of War 3 where Gears of War 2 was as dead as this game is right now, right? Like it just was never, ever, ever the case. And we're playing so bad. We're playing so bad. They didn't really tell us a ton about the actual they didn't really tell us a ton about the actual multiplayer. You know, we got just a little bit of a look at it, which sucks because that's what I care most about. But I think they laid enough of a scene. Yeah, we're getting wrecked. I think they laid enough of a scene for us to understand what it's going to look like. And the movement is the only thing that I saw that goes, okay, I think the movement's fine, right? I think it's a good change because I do think it needed a little bit of an upgrade. It's just, you know, you feel somewhat slow and kind of from the gameplay we saw, it's going to be much quicker, right? It's going to be, and I think that suits the game well. But that's also the big thing of that could be what brings down the whole series, right? I mean, that could be it because if fans don't like it, if it doesn't actually work properly and shit like that, it's going to be bad. All right. Thank you all for watching. That's my take on Gears of War, E-Days, you know, big news, big release announcement, all of that. Obviously, we did not have the best game here, but stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot more Gears 5. We're going to probably do some Gears 2. We're going to be doing a lot, and we're going to have all the news coverage leading up to E-Day because I'm going to be going balls to the wall for content for E-Day. I can't wait. Thank you all for watching.